I'm actually not going to wait for live viewers. Hey, everybody. Hello, my loves. How are you? I'm not going to wait right now for people to jump on. I'm going to hop right to it. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, everybody, as you're jumping on. How are you? Hey, Tamika. All right, let me move all of this out the way. Hey, hey, hey. All right. Hello, Lindsay. How are you? Hello. Okay, so for everyone who knows me, yay. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Candace Gray, the Courageous, and I work with entrepreneurs to conquer fears and unworthiness so they can walk boldly, confidently, and courageously in their purpose, doing the very thing that God has called them to do, unapologetically and fearlessly. So I want to talk about, listen, this is going to be about a 30-minute live stream. I really just wanted to talk all about becoming her. I want to talk to the ladies today about becoming her. And so this is going to be the kickoff of a new series that I'm going to be doing every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Okay? So listen, hey, 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 ladies. Hello, loves. So I have 2 live streams going on right now. So if I'm looking like at another camera, sorry. I'm still talking to you, okay? So I wanted to just really talk to you a bit about becoming her and what becoming her is. And it's crazy because hey, 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 Lisa. Hey, Tamika. Hey, what's up? Over the last maybe 6 months, maybe not even 6 months, maybe the last year, God really has had me on this journey of becoming who he's calling me to be. And this person looks totally different from the Candace that you're looking at right now. This person looks totally different from the Candace that you would have known 5-10 years ago. And this person, the reality of it is the process of becoming this person is terrifying. And so as I've been working closely with God and doing really what he's been calling me to do, he has me on this mission to wage war against the spirit of fear. And it's crazy because I've come across so many women who are terrified to do the things that God is calling them to do. And I don't want to say it's starting to piss me off, but it's starting to piss me off because I feel like the enemy is coming for your purpose. He's coming for you. And he's planted these seeds in your life way back when that told you that you weren't worthy, that told you you would never be anything, that told you you would be just like your mom or just like your daddy who didn't do anything. And he's coming for our purpose. His plan is to abort the very thing that God is calling us to do. And so what happens is the enemy comes to plant these seeds in our lives through negative experiences, through traumatic experiences, things that have happened that have hurt us, that have put this guard up, that have made us rebel, that have turned us away from God because we're hurt, because we're broken. And because of that, we're unable to see ourselves the way that God sees us. And so God has given us a dream. God has given us this dream that to us looks like that we can't do it. To us, this dream seems unattainable. To us, this dream seems like just a dream, something that we will never be able to make happen. When the reality of it is that God is calling you to become her. He's giving you this vision. He's giving you this dream because he wants you to see yourself the way that he sees you. He wants you to understand that you have everything already in you to make it happen. But you've got to overcome the fear. You've got to conquer the fear. You've got to conquer the unworthiness. You've got to be able to shift your mind from the natural realm to the spiritual realm. You've got to understand that you are mighty, but you've got to live it. And so that's what becoming her is all about. Yes, Lindsay, her. That was a great name. What a great name. It is, because what I realize is that so many of us have this, we look at these people who we consider to be successful. These people, we're looking at them like, oh my God, I wish I could be like you, or oh my God, what are you doing? And we look at them and we feel like that's just for them. Like they can do that, but we can't. But we fail to understand that it's a process. There's a process of becoming the woman that God is calling you to be. You don't just become her overnight. You just don't become this successful person overnight. Woo, I'm a millionaire. Woo, I'm in ministry. Woo, I have perfect family relationships. No, it doesn't happen overnight. There's a process that we fail to take into consideration when we're thinking about these people that we're looking up to, and we're admiring them, putting them on some kind of a pedestal as if they didn't have to go through anything. And this is what I don't want you to be deceived on, is these women who are really walking mightily in their calling, mightily in their purpose, they have a story to tell. They have gone through hell and high water. They have sacrificed so much. They have endured pain. They have stories unthinkable that you wouldn't even imagine, the things that they've gone through. But they've trusted God every step of the way. And they were obedient, knowing that if God be for them, who can be against them? And that I want you to understand is, when are we going to get to the point where we're no longer believing the lies of the enemy and everything that he has told us growing up, but we start trusting God? We say trust God, but do we really trust God? That's my thing. If we really trusted God, we would trust him to move these rough patches in our lives without us falling apart all the time. And I think that's the problem as women. Number one, we're very emotional creatures, but we tend to get lost in our emotions. We tend to let the sadness and the depression and the anxiety overtake us. We tend to let this hopelessness overtake us. The jealousy, the looking at everybody else, really coveting what they have and who they are. When we have to understand that we have everything on the inside of us that God is calling us to. And this process of becoming her, she is already you. She is already on the inside of you, but you've got to develop her. You got to be able to see her, because this is my thing. If you don't see her, you will never be her. So you've got to see her first. When you can see her, then you can start planning out, how do I become her? How do I walk into her? How do I conquer these fears that keep me bound year after year after year and find the courage to be who God is calling me to be? God is never going to give you a dream that you can just do without him. You wouldn't need him if he gave you a dream that was just so doable. He has me on a mission for millions. I was like, millions? Like, God, that's a lot of people. When I tell you I had to go to the internet to see how many people it was on earth, I was like, you want millions, Lord? Maybe not like a couple thousand? No, God ain't playing small. God is not a small God. And so when we serve a small God, the one who created us, if he has hung the stars in the sky, he has created the rotation of the earth. How much more can he do inside of you? A living being with a soul, the one that he's created and breathed life into. God loves you so much, but he wants you to be able to see that. He wants you to love yourself the way that he loves you. He wants you to see yourself the way that he sees you. And he wants you to understand that he wants to take you on this journey of becoming her. It's not about the destination. It's not about the destination. It's about the process. It's about the things that you're going to learn on the way, the people that you're going to connect to on the way. And you're going to see this crazy growth in your life. And so real quick, before I talk to you about what becoming her looks like, I want to just give you a quick example from my own life in becoming her that I really had to kind of like meditate on one night. So I was sitting on the balcony one night, and I remember talking to my brother a couple of nights prior about, he's a minister, and he was telling me how there's been times where the pastor has called him up last minute, like, okay, you're up to preach. And he's like, what? I'm up to preach. And so for him, it was kind of that, that thing of be ready in season and out of season. And so I started thinking like, okay, well, God has called me to be a speaker and to open my mouth and speak to women, speak to entrepreneurs, helping them conquer their fears and this feeling of unworthiness. And so I was sitting there thinking, like, if somebody was like, Candace, we need you to come speak. You got 5 minutes. We need you to come, inspire us, motivate us, give us some kind of a word. I was like, will I really be able to like just put something together in 5 minutes and get up and speak? And I started thinking like, that's nothing. Like I could put together a little outline real quick, put my title, give you 3 points, give you an action plan, and then get up there and speak for 90 minutes on it, right? And so I'm thinking this, and as my thought pattern began to proceed, I had to stop, like, hold on. Wait a minute, Candace, what did you just say to yourself? You can literally in 5 minutes put together an outline and speak for it in 90 minutes. You couldn't do that 2 years ago. And I had to really, in that moment, acknowledge my growth, acknowledge where God has brought me from. Because if I'm being 100% honest with you, 2 years ago, there's no way I'd be on anybody's stage talking about anything. My life, from my perspective, has always been to be a marriage and family therapist. I was always the listener. I was good at listening. And so for God to shift everything and say, no, now it's time for you to get up and talk. I'm sorry, Lord, you talking to me? He called me to these crazy big dreams. And I'm like, that's no. And so I was terrified. I was so terrified. But I knew God was calling me to greater. And so I've been on this journey for the last 2 years. The last 2 years, just to even get where I am today. And who I am today is not who I was 3 months ago. It's not who I was 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. I'm doing things now that I never thought I would do. Things that, 10 years ago, I'd have been like, absolutely not. But now I'm like, when I see people on stage, I'm like, I should be on that stage. I should be up there talking. What? When have you ever said that, Candace? When have you ever said that you should be on anybody's stage? Y'all, when I tell you I don't even know who I am anymore, this is the process of becoming her. And when you can get to that point where the sense of accomplishment is an everyday thing, when you're like, dang, man, I have transformed so much. You're so proud of yourself. You're so proud of yourself because you've overcome the fears, the very thing that the enemy has placed as a roadblock to stop your purpose. And so it's important for you to understand that if God has given us, power, love, and sound mind, he didn't give us the spirit of fear, then who are you listening to? When you live in fear, who are you listening to? You're listening to the voice of the enemy. If God has specifically told you, I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind, when are you going to walk in the power that he's already given you? When are you going to get out of your feelings, get out of your emotions, quit being scared, quit being sad, and use the sound mind that he's given us? The sound mind is the ability to reason. It is your time to declare, I will become the woman that God is calling me to be. I will no longer succumb to these fears and these feelings of unworthiness that the enemy has planted in my heart so long ago. I will no longer believe the lies. I will no longer let him continue to infiltrate my mind. Our mind can be the enemy's playground. And the more and more we feed into that, the more and more we live it. The more and more you feed into your faith, the more and more you live it. And so I feel like it's important for us ladies to understand that the process of becoming her is just that. It's a process. When we think about growth, when we think about planting a seed in the ground, when have you ever planted a seed in the ground and boom, tomorrow it was a full-fledged tree, just with all the fruit and everything hanging? If you got some kind of growth serum that makes a tree over 24 hours, baby, let me know. You need to sell that because you're going to be a millionaire. It doesn't work like that. You have to be able to plant the seed and give the seed time to take root and hold on to the nourishment before you see anything come above ground. And that's the thing. So many of you women right now are in your seeding process, you're in your rooting process. God is trying to give you roots. Because at the end of the day, when this tree grows up, now you're susceptible to the elements, to the wind, to the rain, to the fire. And he needs you to be rooted enough so that you can withstand that. You can't despise the days of small beginnings. We all start small. Every last one of us starts small. These big names that you see in ministry, these big names that you see in business, they didn't become that woman overnight. They had small beginnings too. And it was a process. But there's one thing I know that every last one of them women have in common. They didn't give up. They didn't quit. They knew that they had everything on the inside of them to become the woman God was calling them to be. Did they have rough moments? Absolutely. Did they want to quit? Absolutely. You know how many days I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. This is stupid. A lot. A lot. But then the following thought after that is, okay, well, Candace, well, if you're giving up, what's the alternative? To go back to who you was at first? You know what? No, never mind. Okay. All right, God. So that's like a reality check for me. And so because of the fear that I see holding so many women back, and it makes me so angry because I see these women who, they're so amazing. They've gone through so much and they have such a story to tell. You know, they're skilled in so many different areas. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you not walking in what God is calling you to do? It's because of the fear, because they don't think that they can do it. And so God is calling me in this season, especially as we move forward into 2018, to help women through the process of becoming her, helping women walk through the process, encourage, relinquishing the fear. You've got to relinquish. When you relinquish, you let go. You take your grasp off of it and you say, I will become her because I know that God has made me an overcomer, because I know that I am more than a conqueror. We're not just conquerors. We don't just conquer. Baby, listen, if I conquer something, I'm excited, right? If I'm running a race and I win, that means I conquered and I'm excited, like, yes. To be more than a conqueror? I don't even know if I can fathom that. I can't even more than a conqueror? Okay, God, well then let's do it. And so this is why I put together the Becoming Her series. And so what Becoming Her is going to look like. So there's a few components of Becoming Her. We're going to be doing a series every single Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where I'm going to come and I'm going to give you nuggets from the Becoming Her program. Yes, Tamika, you're more than a conqueror. Absolutely. So every Tuesday, 7:30, I'm going to be giving you nuggets from the Becoming Her program. Over the course of time, be having speakers. I'll be interviewing women who have, from our standards, made it. They've made it. We're looking up to them. They're doing something right. But they're going to be sharing their stories of their process of becoming who they are today. Honestly, telling you about the things that they had to overcome, the challenges they had, the pain they had, the sacrifices they made to become what we consider successful. And then in January, I'm going to be doing a 2018 Becoming Her Vision Board Party on January 13th in Cincinnati, Ohio. And this is really where we're going to be able to create the vision of who God is calling us to be, the vision that God is already giving us. You know, the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. We want men to be able to run with it. Because at the end of the day, if God puts you in a position where he's connecting you to these men and women who can take your vision to another level, if you are not ready, your vision doesn't go anywhere. We have got to write the vision and make it plain so that when the time comes for God to send us reinforcement and to send us resources, boom, 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 they can run with it and make it happen because you were ready and you were in position. So that's what this vision board party is about. It's not just about getting some glue and some glitters and putting pretty pictures on a board. No, we can do that at home. We can have an art class for all of that. We're writing the vision and making it plain, becoming the woman that God is calling us to be. And then after the vision board party in January, I'm going to open the doors to my Becoming Her 4-month mastermind, where I'm going to walk you through what it looks like to become who God is calling you to be in multiple areas of your life. And so I want to tell you a bit about what Becoming Her looks like, okay? So Becoming Her is going to be starting on January 28th, and we're going to go into May. So we're starting off with really understanding who the Proverbs 31 woman is. Who is she? What does she look like? You know, what are her interactions like? How is she spiritually? How does she deal with her family, her relationships, and her business? Really understanding what she looks like so that we can evaluate our lives up against her, okay? And we'll know the areas that we're doing amazing in, and then we'll know the areas where it's a bit more challenging and we've got to make some shifts, okay? And then we're going to move into the spiritual, our relationship with God, where we're going to be talking about intimacy, honesty, and hearing the voice of God. You know, I feel like so many women miss what God is saying because they don't recognize his voice. We're going to talk about trust and faith in God and his processes. We seem to want things overnight, but it doesn't happen like that. And so we've got to be able to trust God in his processes. And then grace and forgiveness of yourself and others. So many women are held back because they're holding on to things that have happened in the past, and they can't seem to let it go. And so we've got to be adamant about seeking forgiveness. And then we're going to move into the mental, emotional, and psychological part of it, where we're talking about conquering negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, managing emotions, and recognizing self-sabotaging behaviors. So this is more of the think, feel, do. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you doing? Okay? All of these have got to line up. I can say that I'm a great woman, I'm the Proverbs 31 woman, and I'm successful all day long. But if your actions are not lining up with that, then you're not going to be great. You got to think, feel, and do, and everything has to line up, okay? Then we're going to move into family and personal relationships. And this is, we're talking about solidifying your core circle. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Who is in your circle? Who are you feeding off of? Who is feeding off of you? Are you in the middle of leeches with everyone just pulling from you, pulling, and they're not even on your level? This is going to be the time where we're breaking some things. We're breaking some relationships. We're breaking some people that don't belong to us anymore. People that no longer need to get attached to us. Then we're going to be talking about increasing intimacy, spontaneity, and communication. And I love this, y'all, because there's a certain way that I do it, because I like to have fun and I like to play games. Yes, and I like to travel. So there's certain things that you really can do within your family and your friendships that really increases the intimacy, the spontaneity, and communication. And then we're moving into restoring broken relationships. There's too many women out there who have broken relationships and they're still hurt. And there has to become a point where we say, let me restore the relationship that I had with my mother. Let me restore the relationship that I had with my father or my sister or a friend of mine. And mind you, a lot of this, I'm going to be giving you my own story about how I'm doing the very things that I'm teaching you to do, or how I've already done it. There's nothing that I'm going to show you in the Becoming Her process that I have not already walked through. As the courage coach, God had to hem me up one day. He was like, he said, Candace, what makes you think you're not going to have to go through some of these things before I'm calling you to teach these women? As a leader, that means we hit the fan before everybody else behind us does. So if I'm walking in faith, if I'm walking in confidence, if I'm walking in courage, then I can show you how to do it. But if I'm not doing it, there's no way I can show you how to do it. Okay? And then lastly, we're going to go to business and professional life, where we're clarifying your passions and purpose, really getting clear on what God is calling you to do, utilizing the gifts that he's placed inside of you, the skills that he's allowed you to acquire over time. And then getting out of your comfort zone to embrace new opportunities. Too many of us are comfortable. We don't want to do things because we're scared. And that's what it's going to take to stretch you. Okay, we're stretching. And Becoming Her, we are stretching. And then lastly, we're going to talk about persistence, consistency, and accountability. What do you do when you feel like giving up? What do you do when life is smacking you face to the ground and you feel like you have nothing left? How do you persist? How do you keep going? How do you connect with other women who will lift you up, hold you accountable, and call you to another level of living? And so this is what the Becoming Her process looks like. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's a process that is well worth it. And so Becoming Her is specifically for professional women, entrepreneurs, and women of faith. Women who are tired of living the same way year after year after year. Women who said 2017 was going to be awesome, but here we are at the end of the year, and 2017 wasn't really that awesome because you were too scared to step out. Women who are fed up with living mediocre lives because there's a dream on the inside of you that you just got to get out. If I'm talking to you, then I want you to join me on the Becoming Her process over the next few months. I'm going to be giving you everything that I have, everything that God has given me to give you, to get you from where you are today to the person you want to be next year. Okay? Who you are today shouldn't be who you were yesterday. That's how growth happens. Growth happens day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. If you're the same person, then you need to come see me. because I really want to pull the greatness out of you so that you can see it yourself and so that you can live it and so that your life becomes a manifestation of what God is doing in your life. So ladies, stay connected to me every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I will be here live. I'm going to be on my Courage Coach page, okay? So I will share it into my personal profile, but I'm going to be on the Courage Coach page. So if you don't know where that is, then you want to go search it right now in the search bar on Facebook, The Courage Coach. Like that page right now, because next Tuesday I'm bringing some fire, y'all. Ladies, listen. Now was the time to be adamant that we will not go into 2018 the same way we left 2017. Now is the time to make up in your mind who you want to become. Start getting her in mind right now. Start thinking about her, writing it out, writing your vision now. What do you want next year to look like, okay? And then start sharing that with me so that I can help you start becoming that person and laying out a strategic plan to become her. We don't just become someone just because we wish for it. No. We see her and then we do her. And then when we do her, we have to have a plan to make it happen, right? So that's what this process is going to be about. So make sure you're here with me every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. on the Courage Coach page, where I will be coming live. I'll be having interviews. January 13th, the Vision Board Party in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the Becoming Her 4-month mastermind in January as well. So I will be giving you all more information as we move forward. And you can also find more about me, what I'm doing, and my mission for millions, waging war against the spirit of fear, at CandiceMGray.com. All right, ladies, I love you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here because I got to run out the house. I love you so much. Candice Gray, the Courage Coach, signing off.